We all want more. More money, more growth, more flexibility. But let's be real. Asking for it can feel a little bit awkward, selfish, or even scary. So today, I'm gonna break down how you can ask for exactly what you want without feeling weird, unprepared, or entitled. So if you're looking for time off, a raise, or a new challenge, then this video is for you. Hey there, my name is Rafael, and I'm on a quest to help you adapt, thrive, and grow inside of the workplace and beyond. So let's go ahead and dive into the first point. Why are people even afraid to ask in the first place? Many people don't ask because they're afraid of coming off as too pushy. Or worse yet, they're afraid that if they do ask and the answer is no, they might have to sit around in some awkward silence. But not asking doesn't protect you, it keeps you stuck. One of the greatest lessons my dad ever taught me was, if you don't ask, you don't get. And it's a principle that I've carried on with me throughout my entire life. Many of the opportunities that have been given to me, and many of the things that I have simply because of asking. Now, think about it. Imagine whether in your work life or personal life, there's something that you really and truly want, and you just haven't figured out a way to muster up the courage to ask for it. Now imagine that someone else gets that thing. How would that make you feel? I want you to recognize that that fear feeling or that anxious feeling is totally normal and not permanent. What do you think is worse, feeling nervous or staying stuck? Now, you might be questioning yourself and asking, well, what if I ask my manager or a friend or a colleague? Wouldn't they think I'm too pushy? Or wouldn't I just get rejected and just feel really weird? When in reality, they might not even know what you want. You can never assume that anyone knows what your intentions are. It really is a dog-eat-dog world out there, and it's up to you to figure out how to get to the next level, and you have to have complete control over that. Not asking does not equal playing it safe, it equals staying stuck. Now that we've fully understood why it's so difficult to ask, let's dive into why it's actually not a selfish thing. It's actually strategic. When you grow, your team grows. The best managers want people on their teams who are intentional about growth, invested in their careers, and can advocate for themselves. Instead of thinking, I don't want to bother anyone, instead think, advocating for myself can help my team see what I'm truly capable of doing. And instead of feeling maybe ungrateful for having asking for something, you should instead realize that asking and wanting something can exist at the same time. You're not being difficult, you're being intentional. And asking is leadership in action. Now, with that mindset shift, the next step is to start small. So, how can we build the confidence to ask for something bigger? Let's dive into that next. You don't have to start with a huge request. Try to shadow a meeting or lead a small project. Maybe ask for clarification during a meeting, or maybe ask for some feedback after a presentation, or maybe ask for help on a small task with one of your colleagues. Doing this will build confidence and trust. Think of it like a skill. The more reps you build, the better you will get at it over time. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I always like to relate this back to the gym. It's very much like progressive overload. The more sets you do over time, the stronger you'll get, the better you'll get at the movement, and the better you'll get over time. It's the same thing with these small asks. Okay, so now you have built the confidence to work on these small tasks, maybe even asking for something bigger, but now it's time to get very clear on exactly what it is that you want, because this clarity can make all the difference. Before you say a word, it's important to know exactly what it is that you want. Don't walk in with something like, I feel like I've been doing a lot. That's vague, and vague asks get vague responses. Instead, try something like, I'm looking to move into a leadership role over the next quarter. How exactly can we make that happen? Or another example, don't ask your manager something like, is there anything else that I can be doing to help out? That's a little bit passive and puts the burden on them to figure out what the next steps are. Be a little more active and say something like, I want to work on my ownership. Can I handle the sprint planning for the next session to start building those skills? Now we're having a real conversation. Be specific and be ready. Now, the next thing we need to do is start learning how to approach the conversation now that we have a clear ask in mind. Asking should not feel like a demand. Let's talk about how we can make it more collaborative. This isn't a courtroom. You're not delivering a closing argument. Reframe your ask as a two-way conversation. Don't say, am I getting a promotion soon? This puts your manager on the spot, and it sounds like you expect something with no setup. Instead, try something like, I'd like to get your perspective on what career growth looks like for me here. Can we talk about that? This invites conversation. It shows curiosity, and it allows for your manager to respond more thoughtfully. Here's another example. Don't say, my rent went up, so I need a raise, because this centers the problem more around you and less about the value that you can bring to the company. Instead, try something like, over the past 6 months, my responsibilities have increased, and I've been able to consistently deliver on key metrics and goals for the company. I'd like to adjust my compensation to reflect that growth. You're bringing your manager into your ask, not putting them onto the defensive. It's not about us versus them, it's about us working together. Now that you're comfortable with that approach, let's discuss how we can use momentum and the right medium to make your ask even more effective. You don't ask for a raise 2 weeks after missing a deadline. But did you just ship something great? Or did you crush a client call? That's momentum. Use it. And don't use it by sending a Slack message or raising your hand in the middle of a chaotic meeting hoping that things go your way. That's not the right moment. You won't get the thoughtful response or the attention that it deserves. Instead, try something like, hey, after our last project wrap up, I'd love to set up 15 minutes of your time to go over my growth while it's still fresh. That's momentum, and you're using a recent win to set up the stage for a focused conversation. Book the one-on-one, set the context, and treat it like it matters. Okay, now at this point we've learned a lot, and you're getting ready to go in for the big ask, but you need to prepare for the inevitable, a no. Now let's understand why it's crucial that you learn to accept rejection. A no doesn't mean you failed. It means that you took a shot and now you have new information. Ask, what can I do to make sure that this is a yes in the future? Or, I understand, could we revisit this in the next couple of months? I'd love to know what I should focus on in the meantime. Most people will never follow up, but you will, and that alone will help you stick out from the rest of the crowd. No does not equal never. So whether you're asking for a promotion, a raise, or a new project, remembering these steps will help you ask with confidence and clarity every single time. Asking for what you want at work isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being consistent, thoughtful, and clear. Start small, build momentum, ask early, and ask smart. What's something that you've been wanting to ask for? Drop it in the comments, or better yet, commit to asking for it this month. You've got this.